So are you a Java developer and you are working on Servlet and JSP, maybe Sturz framework, and if you are looking for some simple solution, here we are. So we are talking about Spring MVC. So welcome to Theoretical Learnings. My name is Navin Reddy and let's talk about Spring MVC now. So what exactly Spring MVC is? You might have heard about this from lots of people. Let's move to Spring MVC. Let's learn Spring MVC. So why everyone is moving to Spring MVC? It's because it is damn easy to work with. Okay, so there are lots of reasons why we are going for Spring MVC. The first one is it is easy to learn. Second, it provides you that flexibility that you can change anything anytime. And third, the separation of concerns or separation of the modules. Example, we have different views, we have different modules, and then we have different services to work with. Spring provides you all those features, and if you have already worked on Spring, you know the power of Spring, right? And this is Spring MVC. Now, when we talk about Spring MVC, we can create amazing websites using Spring MVC. I mean, nothing different from what we do in Servlet and JSP, but doing the same thing in a very effective way, right? Now, if you remember, when you worked with servlets, what you have did is you have created the servlet class, and then you say extend HTTP servlet, then you have to create a method which is service, right? And then you send a request. So client sends the request, goes to server, and that's how it works. How Spring MVC works is, again, when you learn these things, you might find it a bit difficult to grasp everything. But trust me, if you make one simple application or even a small code in Spring MVC, after that, if you want to expand it, it is very easy. Okay, so let's start with it. So let's try to understand the architecture or how exactly Spring MVC works. So just for that, what we'll do is, let's imagine we have certain controllers here. Okay, so we have certain controllers, right? So if you go to your server technology, every servlet behaves like a controller, right? And your JSP behaves like a view. So let's say we have certain controllers here. Now what controllers I'm talking about, let's say we have a login controller, we have a logout controller, we have add controller, we have multiplication controller. So let's say we have these 4 controllers here. From the client side, when client sends the request goes to your favorite file, which is web.xml file, right? In that XML file we mention for which request you want to call which controller, right? That's what we do in your normal server technology in Servlet MVC, right? But so the problem is, if you have lots of controllers, sometimes it's difficult to manage all the controllers, right? Let's say we have 15, we have 100 controllers. So it is difficult to manage all the controllers. Second, each servlet will behave like one controller. We wanted something called as multi-action controller. For that, again, Spring MVC will help you. So if you try to convert the same architecture in Spring MVC, what we can do is, we have a client machine here. Client machine sends the request to the server, and server says, okay, now we are not using normal MVC. We want to use Spring MVC. That means to handle all this controller, we need one more controller who will be the front controller. Okay, so with all these controllers, we have one more controller, that is your front controller. Then you will think, okay, now we have to provide one more controller. No, you don't have to do that. Spring MVC will create a controller for you. You just have to create your controllers, but the front controller will be given by Spring MVC. Now that front controller in Spring MVC is called as dispatcher servlet. That means all the client request which goes to web.xml file should know that you are using Spring MVC, and all the requests should go to your front controller, which is your dispatcher servlet. How can you mention that? So it's very simple. In your web.xml file, just mention that for all the requests, you have to send the request to dispatcher servlet. It's that simple, right? Again, you know how to do it, right? You can create a servlet tag, you can create a servlet mapping tag, and you can do that. Now, once your request goes to dispatcher servlet, then what? Now, dispatcher servlet will think, okay, the request is for login. I should call a login servlet. I mean, I want to call a login controller, right? Request is for add. So you have to call add controller. Request is for logout. You have to call logout controller. So your dispatcher servlet should know which one to call. But then there is one more issue here. The issue is, how would your dispatcher servlet knows which controller to call? Now your dispatcher servlet is not a Superman, right? It will know everything. So what happens is, When request goes to web XML file, it sends your request to dispatcher servlet. Now dispatcher servlet needs a configuration file. So in that file you have to mention which request to call which controller. But then you will say that's not good, right? Because we were very happy with servlets, no need for that extra file. But hold on. Spring MVC provides you something called as annotations. So all your controllers should be annotated with the help of controller. So we have to use a controller annotation, and that's it. So with that controller annotation, every controller will have some mapping steps. Again, we will see that when we do programming or the practical implementation. But every controller will have a mapping, right? You have to only mention in that configuration file that in which package you have all your configuration, and you're done. I mean, in which package you have all your controllers. Of course, right, these are Java files, so you'll be having all this thing in one particular package, right, or maybe multiple packages. So you just have to mention which package you're working with. That's it. Dispatcher servlet will specify, okay, we have to go to this package to find the controllers. You don't have to do that. It will be done by your Spring MVC. Okay, so let me repeat. Client sends a request goes to web XML file says, okay, we have to send all the requests to the dispatcher servlet, and dispatcher servlet will check the configuration file and check, okay, we have to send that request to login controller. Now that login controller will do some processing, of course, right? When you call a method, it is done for with the help of it is done for the processing, right? So after the processing, as a client, what you need? Some page, right? So that controller will return you a page. Not exactly. That controller will give you the name of the page, because it might happen that you have lots of pages, right? So when you say you are building a website, you will be having lots of views, right? When you say views, I'm talking about the pages which a client sees, right? So there will be lots of pages. Which page to call? That's a question. Second, see, we have a page, right? It needs two things. First, which page to call. Second, what is the data? Now data will be generated by your controller, but which page to call? You have to mention that in your controller. It will mention the page name, it will mention the data. That data and the page name goes to the dispatcher servlet, again your front controller. You see that? It's not directly controller to page, it is through dispatcher servlet. So the controller will send the response to the dispatcher servlet. Now dispatcher servlet will get two things, the data and the view name. It will call that particular view, okay, and it will also add, so your view technology will fetch the data from the controller. Make sense? And then that page goes from dispatcher servlet to the client, and if you can see, everything is done by dispatcher servlet. As a client, you're only interacting with your front controller. You don't even know how many controllers you have on the backend side, right? Everything is done by your front controller. Then you will think, you know, everything is good, but why do we need, why your dispatcher servlet should know which view to call? It's because it may happen that, so let's say for time being you're using JSP as your view technology. In future, if you want to change your view technology, let's say you want to use ThemeLeaf, if you want to use maybe some other velocity or free marker. If you want to use all this view technology, you just have to change the configuration file. You just have to change the configuration file for the dispatcher servlet, right? You can change it from JSP to ThemeLeaf like this. Change your views and just change the configuration. Your controllers will not even know which technology, which view technology you're working. So that is a separation of concern. Your controllers don't know what view we are using, and your view technology don't know what controllers we are using. It's that awesome, it's that flexible, right? So Spring MVC is awesome. There are lots of features. You know, I feel Spring MVC is like a magic, and as a developer, we are magician, right? So it's an amazing technology to know more how to do all this request mapping and how to work with the controllers, how to create this configuration file, how to get a client, we already know. We'll see all those things in the practical session. I hope you're liking this video. Please click on the like button and do subscribe, because more subscribers will, I will get more motivated and I will make more videos. So do subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.